It's a film with three brains. 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 It's a film with three brains.
Oh my god, you guys are freaks.
Apollo 13 flight controllers, give me a go, no-go for launch.
You know that Easter vacation trip we had planned for Acapulco?
Procedures.
Go.
Control.
Go flight.
There might be a slight change in destination.
Really?
Maybe say the moon.
Booster.
Go.
Retro.
We're go flight.
GNC.
We're go. And I take the controls and I steer it around.
FAO.
We're go flight. For a nice, soft landing on the moon. Better than Neil Armstrong.
Does it bother you that the public regards this flight as routine?
There's nothing routine about flying to the moon. I can vouch for that.
Launch control, this is Houston. We are go for launch.
The clock is running.
Houston, we have cleared the tower at 1313.
Okay, guys. We're going to the moon. This is the crew of the Apollo 13, wishing everyone back on Earth a pleasant evening. Houston, we have a problem. We got a wicked shimmy up here. Houston, we are venting something out into space. It's definitely a gas of some sort.
Flight, the heart rates are skyrocketing.
The Apollo 13 spacecraft is apparently losing breathing oxygen. The emergency has ruled out any chance of a lunar landing.
Why are so many people here?
Something broke on your daddy's spaceship.
I have a request from the news people.
Take it up with my husband. He'll be home on Friday.
Flight, we have lost the radio contact.
Econ, what's your data telling you?
It's reading a quadruple failure. That can't happen. It's got to be instrumentation.
The ship's bleeding to death.
This rate, we're going to skip right out of the atmosphere, and we're never going to get back.
But we're looking at less than 15 minutes of life support in the Odyssey.
We never lost an American in space. We're sure as hell not going to lose one on my watch.
Odyssey, do you read me?
How long does it take to power up the LEM?
3 hours by the checklist.
We don't have that much time.
Hello and welcome to the Film with Three Brains. This is Sean in Wisconsin.
And I'm Cohen in Maplewood, New Jersey.
And it's Sam in San Francisco.
Cool. Prepare for launch. We are going to talk about Apollo 13 by Ron Howard. Starring it's ensemble cast, lots of people, but the three main astronauts are Tom Hanks, Kevin Bacon, Bill Paxton. It's a 1995 docudrama type of, reality tale. And I think I know a lot of people saw it because the box office was great.
How great.
Like almost 7 times what the budget was, I think. 355 or something. On a 52.
Profitable.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
It's pretty great.
Good work, Ron.
It's all because of Ed Harris.
Don't forget Ed Harris. Yes, he was has a big role as I can't remember his name at the real actor.
Gene.
Thank you.
Yes.
Gene in the white vest.
Mm-hmm.
Is it great? You guys think it's great?
I do not think it's great. I think it's good. I like it.
Okay.
But it is not great for a couple of reasons. But I'll get to that if you guys want to chime in on your great, not great.
Great, not great. That's it. I mean,
there are other options.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I want to know. Because it's not quite great, but it's really, I think, entertaining the whole way through. Like, I like the pacing. I like to watch it. I have a hard time saying great for a lot of movies because great to me is like a movie I want to watch over and over. And sometimes it's not, but for the most part it is. And this is just one of those things I'm like, okay, this is a really awesome story. And the story itself is so compelling and amazing that I think it gets it close to great no matter kind of who's making it. And then you add in all these actors who are awesome people too. Like they have so many stars in here. So I think Ron Howard was definitely going, like, he knew exactly what he was doing. I think. I'm curious to hear Cohen's complaints, but I think he made a pretty well polished movie that entertains. There's a little bit at the beginning that is, I think the thing. My guess is that, and we'll let Cohen. Well, maybe we won't let Cohen talk. Forget it.
Don't let me talk.
But we'll just guess what Cohen doesn't like about it.
Yeah.
And the first thing is that there's just Ron Howard can't help but be a little bit hokey, and that is not needed at all for this movie. You don't need it at all, because you have everything else that I just mentioned that stands on its own.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
So we can just get it. We'd save a lot of money if we just got rid of one brain. Now that we know everything he's going to say. All right.
Need some efficiency. Well, okay. What about, because you said
great,
it's
not great, Sean. Because we got two not greats.
We got two not greats. I'm going to go great. I'm going to go great.
Yeah. I'm closer to great than Cohen's to great.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm actually pretty close to great. There's just a few key things that keep it from being great, and most of it is what Sam just said.
Okay,
like Ron Howard just can't seem to help himself. He's pretty heavy-handed.
He is.
In everything he does, he's a little heavy-handed, and there's some hoke in this that really I couldn't abide.
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking forward to this.
I couldn't sanction the hook.
Couldn't sanction. Okay, Tommy Lee Jones. What? Okay, well, it's not very rewatchable. I agree with that, and I didn't really think about how. I mean, I remember the movie, but I've only this is probably my second viewing. I'm pretty sure this is my second viewing, so it doesn't come up often. So I think the
that's
lapse,
probably my third.
You think you're third? Like the amount of time that passed in between helped my view of it. Agreed. Because I was expecting good, and I think it was better than I remembered. Like I remember it being good, but I knowing what happens, you think, oh, it must have been like the drama, the tension. I mean, even though it's a real story, probably what happens when you go into it. Mm-hmm. You still don't remember. Like the feelings you have during the movie, and the feelings the real people had certainly are pretty persuasive or pretty compelling. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's just because it's a true story, almost completely a true story. But I feel like I just like that he was kind of restrained. I mean, it was probably the least Ron Howard version of himself. And as you guys are saying, it's more. He's still Ron Howard. He still kind of went a little too far, but the restraint of the actors, the restraint of the situational drama, and sticking to the technical sort of details, for the most part, I think were all really good choices, and it led to a pretty compelling experience for me. But it's not a perfect movie. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I remembered it being good, and I thought, wow, it really is quite good, and it holds up to me a lot. So
I think it holds up, hands down. If people want to watch it, if you like The Martian and these other movies, then you should go back and watch this.
Right. I was thinking about The Martian too, and I've complained and Gravity. Yeah, and I was thinking about those movies that use the vomit comet and the actual weightlessness to sort of achieve these space effects that not a lot of productions do, because it's complicated and expensive and all these things. And but I think it's really worth it to stick to whatever is real. It's awesome if you can. All right, so what's hokey?
All right, two key things for me. One, I really hate the score.
Really?
Oh yeah, I couldn't. It's just like, holy fuck.
It was nominated for an Academy Award.
I know, and maybe in 1995 it wouldn't. The benefit of 31 years ago, maybe that's what I'm reacting to, but it was so like the most obvious score I've ever heard in a movie. So completely expected, just strictly by the numbers for a drama. Like every scene, the music was exactly what you would think as someone who's even, for anybody who's ever seen a movie, just like imagine what the score should be for this dramatic scene where they could die. And you're like, and then you hear it and you're like, oh, that's exactly it. That's exactly what I was thinking it should be. The whole movie. In fact, some of it was so over the top, I chuckled. I was like, oh my God, really? Like, oh my God, this is it's such a dramatic score, for this scene where, and it's like, I wish it had been far more restrained and maybe not have a score for some of it. I don't remember how much didn't have score, but I don't recall any of it not having a score. And that just might be my memory. I might not be right about that, but like, that's one of the great things about something like Gravity, which I don't remember how much score it has, but there's plenty where there's none.
Right. There's a lot of space and silence.
If not the majority of it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually only seen Gravity once, and
there is a score, but yeah, it is minimal.
Yeah,
it's unique, I think.
And I feel like that is always my chief complaint with Ron Howard is he never has the confidence in his audience to do anything subtle. Everything is so filmmaker-y. His scores are what you would expect. He has great actors, but they're always giving the expected performance. Like there's no he doesn't cast against type, not really, and he doesn't like seem to encourage his actors to try anything. From what we see, obviously we don't know, we're not there, but that's what it feels like to me. So
I think,
yeah,
I agree with you. I also think that this is a movie that really, because of what's happening, there's not much opportunity for subtlety. But because he's hitting you so hard with the music and everything else and not using the silence of space, it doesn't let it kind of sink in. You don't get the same emotional feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with what you're saying. And that's what I was trying to say before is it's a shame that you do overdo things when you have such a strong story.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it was if it was a story that actually wasn't as exciting and you were doing things to make it more dramatic, this is a story that is, there's no way you can make this story and not have it be interesting and dramatic. Like there's so many pieces, including the pieces they left out, which we'll circle back to.
Yeah. So my other very, very specific is a scene. And it's the scene where they lose the moon. And then we cut to Tom Hanks's like internal visualization of himself walking on the moon. And I was like, oh my God, just let Tom Hanks be Tom Hanks. It's like, granted, this is way before Captain Phillips came out, but Jesus Christ, you ever seen the end of Captain Phillips? When he goes through his whole PTSD thing, and it's just like an amazing performance. It's 5 minutes of Tom Hanks being like the best actor in the fucking universe. So like let him tell the story as an actor. Don't show us that shit because he can do it. And I was annoyed by that. So annoyed. I was like, oh my God, you're doing Tom Hanks a disservice. Your film a disservice. It's just like showing that was just terrible sensibilities there. Terrible decision.
I can't disagree, and I definitely thought that was the moment when I remembered, oh, it's Ron Howard making this movie.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, okay. But I not to say it, that had to be done, but the book that they made this from was Lost Moon.
Yeah.
And it was written by Jim Lovell and the guy from Time magazine, and and so we're getting pretty much Jim Lovell's story. It's mainly his story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're all great. They all went through this experience together. But yeah, Jim losing the moon in his last mission was a huge plot line. And I think, Ron could have just done like what you said, or at least given it something else to show.
Even
to show
a series of flashbacks. If you got to show something, like a series of flashbacks of of key moments of training or something,
right?
but
I mean, because there's other things like that seem obvious, like the dream that she has, that Marilyn Lovell has, and she really had, I guess that did happen. She had a dream about an explosion in space. She admits that like they had watched some weird space movie like 3 months before or 3 weeks before or something like that. So that meant, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter because you could have put the dream in there either way. But I was thinking, oh, that's an obvious choice to have a dream sequence, or I mean, to have the explosion and have all these things go wrong, and so we can visualize it, so we can know what's at stake. There are some reasons that he did some of these things, but yeah, I don't know why we have to see him landing on the moon, except for maybe that Jim Lovell himself. I mean, the whole idea is that we can't get too emotional, we can't get hysterical. The astronauts, the ground, the command center, everybody involved can't overreact because it will just add to this. It will make things worse. There's, and some of the things that they push back on in terms of reality were like, I don't know if like we didn't really have that argument in space. We didn't really, people didn't panic as much as it seems like. I mean, I don't think it was overwhelming panic. It wasn't like everyone throwing papers in the air and running around the control center. It was just like a lot of activity, frenetic things happening. So we get this sense that this is not normal. That, we have to call in the backup crews. We have to do all these things and make contingencies because this is really quite bad, And I think the reason that I'm so positive about this movie is that it seems nuts to do it now. It seems nuts. And I know this is more the story than the movie itself, but they kind of blend together for me. It seems nuts to do all this stuff in space with now this technology we have now. It seems psychotic. It seems suicidal to go up in space and worry about 12 amps. And worry about that's just crazy. That's crazy time.
Yeah.
Like, you have reserve oxygen tanks, but like the way they had to maneuver between the modules, and that stuff's all real, and that's all they had up there was their wits and their connection with the ground. So I think it was just maybe it's just that he didn't do. He could have made it more. I mean, he could have made it worse. He went too far, but it could have been even worse. He went full Ron Howard, or Spielberg did up too much, or whatever you want to say. And I appreciate that the story was so strong that it's still really compelling.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, have you guys, I haven't seen it, but have you guys seen First Man, the Damien Chazelle movie about Neil Armstrong, or about Apollo 11?
Mm-mm.
I started watching like a half. It's Ryan Gosling?
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling. Yeah, I started watching it, and I thought it was really good, but I think the service took it off before I could finish or something like that.
Okay. I was just curious because I was thinking about what we're saying about how good the story is and how it doesn't need sort of a heavy-handed sort of direction in terms of filmmaking, and I compare it to in my mind I was thinking about the documentary Apollo 11, which if you guys have seen it, it's super raw. There's not a lot of like filmmakers flourish to it. It's just the real footage basically playing out from moving the shuttle on that giant track to, all of it. It's just all real footage, and it's mesmerizing. It's absolutely mesmerizing. And there's no score, there's like one title at the beginning to kind of set everything up, and then that's it. And there's no nothing. It's just it's like one of the pure documentaries I've ever seen where the footage just plays. And so I find myself wondering if someone else had made Apollo 13. And I think about Ridley Scott, who did The Martian, which is so well made and so good. Or even like a movie like Prometheus, which I think is a terrible movie, but it's beautiful and it's exquisitely made. Ridley Scott is just such a fantastic filmmaker, and he shows restraint and he trusts his actors. I think of the scene in Gladiator near the beginning where they're like, he's on Russell Crowe is on the field, and they're about to
He's sniffing dirt and all that stuff.
Yeah, and then he sees a bird.
Yeah,
and he follows the bird, and he gets like a little, and it lands, and you can see, you can tell what he's, for the most part, what is sort of going through his mind. He's just thinking about whatever things. He'd rather be somewhere else. Hey, there's a bird. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. This is so cool. I love that bird. I wish I was a bird. Whatever. Instead, we cut to a scene of Russell Crowe like going, flying through the air.
The worms in his mouth.
Yeah, we just see Russell Crowe acting, and he's a great actor, and he sells it. And then the bird flies off, and his eyes sort of follow it, and then he sees the opposing army, and everything, whatever subtle emotion drops out.
Yeah.
And he's just a hardened general again, and it's a great moment. And I can't imagine Ron Howard ever allowing his actors to do that. And I don't remember. I mean, I know Russell Crowe's in A Beautiful Mind. I don't remember anything subtle about that movie at all. I don't remember it well, but I remember it being just a series of heavy-handed scenes, where you got a great actor like Russell Crowe sort of doing the most obvious things. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I was rambling there.
No, that's all right, because if it's part of why that's how you watch movies, is you know the filmmakers and you know what they're doing more than most, I'd say. So it's kind of hard for you to ignore it when it stands out, when it becomes obvious. You're like, eh.
All that being said, though, I mean, these are the things that prevent Apollo 13 from being great for me. It's still good. Right. And I did enjoy watching it completely. I was totally absorbed in it. It's super entertaining. It's very diverting. It just could have been, one of the greats, I guess. I don't know. I mean, It's such a good story and such a great cast.
So did Brad Pitt make a mistake of turning down the starring role to do 7?
No, I don't think so.
No, not at all.
I feel like 7 was what really defined him then as an actor. That was like a turning point, I think, for him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not the only turning point, but like the first, beyond Thelma and Louise, putting him on the map. 7 is when he became the Brad Pitt that we know, I think. So yeah, I don't know. I think he got more out of 7 than he would have got out of this.
Yeah, and I think Brad Pitt could have done Apollo 13. I'm not sure if Kevin Bacon could have done 7. I mean, he could. Kevin Bacon's not a bad actor at all. I just can't see 7 without Brad Pitt in it right now. So,
agreed. So,
yeah,
I have a question.
Yeah,
something that was bothering me while I was watching, and then bothered me after. And it's a scene. It's like a plot point, I guess, that bothered me. And I think I was talking to my wife about it, and she sort of explained it in a way that made sense. But I was curious if you guys had the same issue, where, like, midway through the movie, Kevin Bacon crunches some numbers and realizes that what Mission Control is sending them for their reentry is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to skip off the atmosphere or whatever. And then they determine that they're too light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they grab all that shit from the lunar module because they're a couple 100 pounds light, because they were planning to bring back a shitload of moon rocks or something, I guess, right? So while I was watching it, I kept thinking, how do they know they're light? And then how do they know how much weight to add back? Because they're in fucking space and they're weightless. So I was like, I don't get this. How did they, was this, I kept thinking it was a measurement thing. It was a math thing. They measured something. It was wrong. And then my wife was like, well, I don't think they measured anything. I think it was a guess. They know, they crunch the numbers. Their trajectory is wrong. That is measurable. Mm-hmm. Why they're wrong is going to dictate how they fix it. So they didn't measure shit. They're in space. They are weightless. You can't measure the weight, but they figured it out that it's all theoretical. They're too light. That's what would cause this aberration in their thing. Let's bring that shit on. And then they won't know for sure if it's going to work until they do it. But I feel like that was poorly explained going in. And I think this is like, did you guys think about that during those scenes? Where you're like, well, they're weightless. How do they know they're too light? No.
I mean, I
you
thought
got
about
another one?
No. I mean, I thought about math in general. I thought, did that really happen? Did he actually figure out? I mean, because they said it. They kind of confirm it later, right? At least in the movie version.
Yeah,
that he was right.
Oh yeah, everyone's just like, oh yes, that must be it. That's it. You are correct. Holy shit! But how do they know? I guess without knowing what their weight was, or going to be, or then is.
No, you could do that with math, though, couldn't you?
I guess.
I think what you're saying is that we're getting the next level explanation from Kevin Bacon when he should have just said, hey, if we use the plan that we originally had, we're going to skip off the atmosphere because our original plan is that we're going to have a couple hundred extra pounds, and we don't.
Yeah.
And instead he's like, we don't see him doing the math of, hey, we're a couple 100 pounds short, so when we hit the atmosphere, it's going to be at the wrong angle, because the weight doesn't matter until you actually touch the atmosphere.
Right. Exactly.
You know, once in space, it doesn't matter at all.
I just feel like the sequence was a little clunky, and I was like, I wasn't quite following how it was possible, unless they were just guessing, basically, or doing the math with more of a hypothesis than hard data, because how could you have any hard data about your weight?
Right.
Well, based on speed and, the other, there's only one variable, right? Which is that the trajectory, that it's wrong. And then they're like, okay, well, why is it wrong? And then they just, I mean, I don't know how they did it, but you could figure it out. You could figure it out.
I guess. But from the movie, I feel like they didn't.
That's true.
They didn't properly explain how they figured it out. They're just like, we're too light. Bring in a bunch of shit from the other thing. And you're like, well, how much shit?
Right.
I guess.
No, I remember being a little confused. And then, see, your thought was they didn't explain that well. My thought was, well, I'm really glad they didn't dumb it down for us. You know, like wait for us to figure this all out. You know, they just gave us the facts.
Normally, I would agree with that, actually, but in this case, I don't know. I felt like they were lying to us. I'm like, what? How?
Okay, so the mass is really important for the entry angle.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're directly related.
Sure.
So that's the realization that Kevin Bacon should have made and explained. Him doing the math without telling us that he's realizing that the mass is different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that clearly there's an equation that you say, look, this is where we thought you were going to be, and if you weigh more or less, because it's going to make a difference as to how much fuel you have too, right? Like if you don't actually burn up a bunch of fuel going down to the moon and coming back, maybe you actually offset some of the loss of not having the rocks because you have more fuel.
Well, that's just the lunar module, though, so that's not
that weighs stuff. Oh, that's true. And there was some lunar module stuff too that they actually skipped out on, which surprised me because there are two elements of the lunar module that are true that I was like, I hadn't seen this in a long time, but I know some of the stories. One is that the lunar module was programmed not to work when it is attached to the rocket. I mean, to the craft. So I actually met the guy who was called he was the one who made the program for the lunar module it had to be reprogrammed so that it could actually fire while it was still attached, because the original plan was that would be a risk. So I was like, oh, that's a cool thing. But there's a million things that are going wrong in this movie, so it's like not the biggest deal to end. But then the other thing was that when they ditch it at a very specific time on purpose, because the battery for the lunar module has plutonium in it. Mm-hmm. And the plutonium, they didn't want to have it get wrecked, come in at the wrong angle and get wrecked and spread radioactive material everywhere. So they purposely launched it so that it would end up at the bottom of the ocean where it still is, and they've never detected that battery has broken apart. So this is like I know, like I said, the whole movie is like one thing after another, like one problem they're trying to solve after another. Mm-hmm. But I was like, like it makes me want to read the book and be like, well, what other problems are there? Because that's what I was saying is like Ron Howard didn't have to, like he had his pick of like which one of the, like why would I lie or make anything, you know, like what more dramatic than what it is or anything, because there's so many problems that all these people are trying to solve at once, you know. And he, like nowadays they'd all die because I want to be like, well, my shift's over, I gotta go, you know. I go, but these guys, it's not my problem.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like, I really wish I'd read the book because you'd know exactly what they're talking about, and you'd get a little bit of detail on stuff. And I wish I knew if the line, if Jim Lovell actually said, well, there's our glitch for this mission, you know, like that's a, you know, obviously an ironic sort of comment at the time. And I don't see any weird issue with just like that one, you know, engine 5, I guess, or whatever that, one of 5 engines go, or I don't know, rocket. Is it like part of the rocket? I don't know. The visual was interesting. Like, oh, here's this little. Anyway, it goes out. Something goes wrong. They don't, you know, it's not a huge deal. They sort of roll with it, make a little comment, move on, no big deal. But that was like, okay, so things are going to get worse from here on. But you know, they can't ever sort of admit that, you know, it's all going to hell and they're all going to die. You know, like that's just. I mean, I know that. I mean, Sam, you work under pressure. There's a lot of people that have to deal with pressure situations all the time, but it's just like the focus on them, whether the cameras are broadcasting or not. Like the idea that everyone is watching you and everyone is, you know, working on all these problems and has put all this effort and money and time into you being in that moment, you can't lose it. You can't. And the carbon dioxide is actually a really interesting part, because that's amazing. If they were, you know, losing oxygen and probably felt disoriented and was hard to think probably when you have too much carbon dioxide. I mean, those kinds of things are, they seem like, oh, well, that seems like it would be hard. Well, yeah, it's hard, but you know, it's hard on Earth. Like none of these things are you know, are just simple problems when it's like mentally made much worse because of your situation. And I just kept thinking about like how it made me want to like reevaluate my life a little bit. Like I want to be like this, you know, I want to be more like be able to have a really good plan and then completely ditch it. And because I my problem is I cry for the old plan. I just like, well, yeah, but it could have been so great. It could have been, you know, he's laughing because you know it's just exactly how I am. You have to ditch it. You have to let go.
There is
of that
no
feeling.
old plan.
Yeah. Oh, you're laughing because there's no plan. Well, that's more.
No, that's a
plan.
Well, no, that too.
That's the plans of mice and not me, but
yeah, but that's so that is, I mean, that's the main reason. What you're talking about is the main reason they put that story in there about, hey, were you ever scared? You know, and you know, seeing the phytoplankton or whatever, the algae, you know, the phosphorescent waves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a great little story that says like this guy has the experience where he's seen crap go bad. Like if you know, I remember a situation, an emergency situation, where afterwards one of the other people there's like, wow, you have ice water through your veins. I was like, yeah, but when you're in that moment, you don't stop and think about the emotional elements of the moment, because those aren't the things that move you forward. You think of like you are like, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, it's, you know, you're running through your list of options. It's like a program. You don't, you know, you get to turn that off. I mean, afterwards you can I've talked to so many people who have the same response after everything's over, like that they feel like they've ran a marathon, that they like feel totally jumpy, like they have so much adrenaline in their system. They can't sleep. All these things happen after the event, but during the event, you just keep going. You don't stop and think, and because and I don't say you're not thinking. I should say you don't stop and think about the emotional elements of it. Because it's time. You don't have time for that. And I think that, for this, he made the movie where they don't have time for anything. And they don't have any time for anything to go wrong. It's like, that's what makes this movie so amazing, is because if this happened 99 more times, that whatever, 95 of them, they'd be dead. They wouldn't make it. It's so that line was added for dramatic effect. That there's our glitch for the mission. There's our glitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It sounded a little too perfect right there.
Yeah. So it's interesting because like the carbon dioxide thing was real, and the fact that they had to MacGyver it and all that was real. Like all of that stuff is real. That's what I'm saying. There's so much real stuff here that it'd be a shame if people watched this movie and thought that it was just some sort of fictional thing like Gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the astronauts that died on the tarmac, or whatever you call that, part of it was that they didn't expect a lot of risk. There wasn't the engines weren't fueled. The jets, the rockets weren't fueled. They were just doing sort of a test run in the command module, and there was a fire, and it was pressurized. So they couldn't open the door. Couldn't open because against the pressurized cabin, and there's extra oxygen in the pressurized cabin, and I mean it's horrible because you can't not imagine them dying, pounding on the glass and stuff like that. I mean, he shows us that at the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
But we get what's at stake here, and we know we know from our childhood things can go wrong right away. That was in the space shuttle days, but it's just crazy. I mean, and then you add on the fact that we politicize. I mean, Kennedy and whatnot. We politicized the space race itself because we had this adversary, and they were beating us, and we were putting extra pressure on ourselves to achieve this goal at a certain time. And I'm not saying that, things could have been avoided. I'm just saying it's just nuts. All of it's just nuts. And it always will be. I don't think, I mean, Elon Musk can say what he wants about Mars and all of this stuff. And I look forward to a grand and glorious future not for me, but for somebody. But it's still going to be nuts. It's still like, no matter what happens, there's still going to be all these contingencies in space, and there's still going to be all these scenarios where people are just like, the romance of space is pushed back by the realities of physics and limited resources, and just a species going where it's not designed to be. I mean, we're human. We're supposed to be on Earth, so it's just amazing and frightening. Is like what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
It just. Yeah, that I felt adrenaline even seeing the movie the second time, knowing how it ends, knowing what happens and what doesn't. I still feel the adrenaline from the situation and the way it's, and maybe the score is driving it a little too much, but it's, I don't know. Maybe I was ignoring the score or something. But you're right. It was a pretty obvious score. I guess I was expecting like more American flags all over the place.
Yeah.
More like
more Michael Bay.
Yeah, more Michael Bay, exactly. I was glad there wasn't flags everywhere.
Oh yeah, I mean, Michael Bay. Yeah, he definitely makes Ron Howard seem like a minimalist. For sure. Yeah. Well then, what else?
Well, you've covered the big nitpicks. I don't really have any smaller ones. I can't really think of anything that just really stands out as silly or awkward, or I mean, maybe Go ahead.
I love Bill Paxton I am shocked that both John Cusack and Charlie Sheen turned down that role, which opened it up for Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
So I'm glad, but I'm also like, why? What was John Cusack doing in 1995? You know,
some rom-com of some sort.
You know, was he coming off that Record Store movie somewhere?
I think that was later.
After.
I think, yeah.
Well, maybe he was in the early stages of working in Grosse Pointe Blank.
Maybe.
Because Grosse Pointe Blank came out in 97 and Apollo 13 came out in 95.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's 2 years, though, a difference. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I know he wrote Grosse Pointe Blank, so I guess he could have been working on it earlier. Because he directed it too, didn't he?
Cusack? No, I think he helped write.
Well,
it's George Armitage. Well, let's talk about cast for a second. What was your favorite cameo or should I go first? You know what? You probably
I have a cameo. Why? We just watched Point Break, and that dead rhinoceros line is the same exact line. I'm like, did you pick this movie because of that line?
No, happy coincidence.
Well, there was a little factoid about it that basically said Gary Busey was visiting the set and suggested that line for Bill Paxton. Yeah, I don't know if that's real or not, but that's what I read. That's why it's exactly the same. Gary Busey was visiting the set and suggested it, and they're like, "All right,"
but it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit Bill Paxton. 100%.
Does Gary Busey say the ass end of a rhino?
Yeah, I'm so hungry I could eat the ass out of a rhino or something like that, or eat the ass end of a rhino. Yeah,
and Paxton says,
but it's the same exact line.
Yeah,
I'm like, what? So, in my experience, there's no such thing as coincidence.
Yes.
Anyway,
when did Predator 2 come out?
Boy,
1990. So yeah, so maybe Gary Busey was there visiting his friend Bill Paxton from their Predator 2 days. And he's like, "That's true. You should say this line."
All right. Well, the one I was going to mention was young Mitch Taylor. The actor's name is Gabe Jarrett. You might remember him from Real Genius.
Oh, that was him?
That was him.
I thought it looked like him, and I was like, it's not him.
It can't be him.
It can't be him.
I mean, he's much older. He looks different. He sounds way different.
He sounds
his voice
a lot different. Yeah,
dropped.
But yeah, when I saw him, I was like, oh, that looks like the guy from Real Genius. But I didn't think it was him. I just thought it was someone who kind of looked like him.
Yeah.
One of my favorite little stories about this whole movie is that, the Reed Hastings, the founder of Netflix, says that he had the idea to start the Netflix streaming service after he got a $40 late fee for keeping this movie for 6 weeks. Like, damn you! I'm gonna make a company that drives you to bankruptcy.
Is that true?
I don't know. Movie? It's a good story.
I read that too. Yeah.
I must have missed the IMDb trivia bits or something. I was on the wiki too much.
I think that's hilarious.
What about one of the main guys in the control room was, I believe, a detective from Gattaca? Does that sound right? The older brother?
Are you talking about? Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You are correct.
I was like, he looks very familiar.
He's also in a movie called Mumford.
Caught that one.
But another actor from Gattaca, Xander Berkeley, he played the press guy, Henry Hurt.
Oh.
He's the doctor at the end of Gattaca who lets Ethan Hawke through. Like, he should be caught, and Xander Berkeley plays the doctor. He's like, I never tell you about my son.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. And of course, we have all the Howard family. We got Rance Howard playing the pastor, or reverend guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's the other guy? What's the guy?
Clint.
Mainstay of Howard Productions.
Yep.
Yeah, the casting was kind of interesting because it seemed like they were going for quasi-nerdy type, but they didn't I don't think they went for nerdy. It just more maybe the dress and the 60s style clothes and hair and stuff, and of course there's lots of smoking in the control room. But yeah, I was wondering what actors respond. I mean, because some people were like picking their roles, like, oh, I'd do that. Gary Sinise picked his part. He didn't want to be the guy that went up. He wanted to be the guy that missed out, which I thought was an interesting choice.
Also, the kid who plays Tom Hanks' youngest son is the kid from Kindergarten Cop, who says the thing about penis and vaginas.
Oh, thank you. I was wondering who that was.
He also plays Gage Creed in Pet Sematary, the little boy they bring back.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Next, I'm going to play with you.
That's why I was getting the hairs on the back of my neck were standing up.
Indeed.
Yeah, it is a big cast. I mean, yeah, at the beginning, Tom Hanks as Jim Lovell is I mean, he's hosting a party, and everyone's drinking, having a nice time, and he seemed really full of energy at the beginning, and I was wondering if that was supposed to set up, that this is him at home versus this is him at work or something. And I almost thought like Tom Hanks was overplaying it a little bit, like, he's a little too loose and not astronaut like or something. I don't know. Who knows?
Well,
are we about to abort this mission? Yeah, are we?
Yes.
Ready to move on?
Yep. Is
let's
Tom
jettison.
Hanks. Is this one of Tom Hanks' 3 best movies?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yep, I agree.
I don't think so.
Might be one of Gary Sinise's bests. It's maybe Bill Paxton's best drama. No? What do you got? How about we did what was the one we did? The murder mystery.
Did we do Frailty? Or Simple Plan?
A Simple Plan we did.
Yeah, we did Simple Plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still kind of playing Bill Paxton almost, like the funny guy, but in space. Oh, we didn't talk about
he was in space, and the last time he was a funny guy too, in Aliens.
We didn't talk about the measles or the sort of medical background of that. Like, I mean, it's just so weird that it was an exposure, and he could have gotten measles at just the wrong time, and then Bill Paxton, what's his name?
He got a UTI.
He got a UTI from the other guy, right?
No, because he kept the condom cath on for extended periods of time. It wasn't because they shared it.
Okay, that was just a joke.
Yeah. No, he did not get it from the other guy.
Okay, so that was just a mistake.
But the measles thing is real if the exposure is, because the transmission rate's about 90%. So it's one of the most contagious diseases out there.
And they went through the whole, like the flight, the first team, and then the backup crew. Like, everyone had to get checked for that, right? Because there was exposure. One person had it, and then
but at that time, I mean, there's no treatment for it. So that's the issue.
Right, but I mean,
when did the vaccine come out?
Before that, wasn't it?
Well, why weren't they vaccinated then? I guess
no.
Well, you don't. It doesn't really matter.
I mean,
right?
I'm just curious.
You have it your whole life. Isn't it the same thing as the chicken pox? Or
right. So in 1963 was the first version of it, and then 1971 was the one that we use now.
So did the first version not work, or were astronauts not required to be vaccinated?
My guess is that they weren't required to be vaccinated, and that for a lot of times when they come up with a new vaccine that people have already had as kids, they don't require you to go back, or there's an assumption that you already had it.
Oh, that's what they said. Some of them said I had measles.
Yeah,
I had.
Yeah. So the assumption is that like chicken pox, like we didn't go get our chicken pox vaccines when they came out with the chicken pox vaccines. They just assumed that everyone who's an adult had it when they were a kid.
Yeah.
They don't go back and do it again. So I'm guessing there was an assumption like that, but the thing that you always learn about measles is like if there's a bus with 10 people on it, and someone with measles gets on it, when 9 of the 10 are going to walk off with measles because it's so easily airborne transmission.
Okay. So the major factor was transmissibility.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that insight.
Yeah, that's your nerd factoid. Cool. So I've changed my mind about 30 times what we're going to watch during this as our next thing.
Wing it.
And I was going to do a classic movie that we all have on our list. And then I changed it. I was like, oh no, I'm going to go to this comedy that I like that for some reason only gets like a 50 on, Rotten Tomatoes. And I was like, then I came across the movie that Val Kilmer was going to make instead of being in this movie. What he turned down a spot in this movie because he was working on another movie. And it's a movie that I don't even know if it's a really great movie, but
you're talking about Ghost in the Darkness?
Exactly.
Was that your pick?
Yep.
Oh boy.
I was going to say Thunderheart or something, but
you remember it as a bad movie?
I don't. I only remember. I've seen it, but I only remember a vague sort of like meh coming out of it. That's all. I actually don't even remember much exactly what it's about, other than like big game hunting in Africa or something.
I thought it was a Michael Douglas movie.
He's in it too.
He is.
Okay, because I remember this movie is based on a true story about these 2 lions that were killing people in Africa, and they get this big game hunter to come kill them.
I think that is accurate. Yeah,
that is accurate.
The reason I picked it is because I don't know. Should I wait?
No, for what?
For our next episode. I mean, this might be. I'm like the reason I picked it is it just cuts out. And people are like, "Stay tuned next week." This is a 2-part episode. What?
We picked up 3 really frustrated listeners.
Good. I'm saving it. You got to remind me that. All right. Cool. That's enough movie buff. I'm out.
I thought you were going to say, thank you for the sign off, but I thought you were going to say because it's another true story type of movie.
Nope.
And we can compare and contrast. Okay.
I'll keep you guessing until next time.
Huh?
This has been our best episode yet.
Yeah.
Right, because it's the best movie.
Yeah.
Houston, we did not have any problems.
Ron Howard.
No problems at all, except for Ron Howard.
Such a hater.
He's fine. Just stop giving him awards. That's all.
He's not doing anything.
He's doing something. Didn't he?
He's alive.
I mean, he's alive, right? I don't think I've seen anything Ron Howard's directed in years. I don't know. What's the last movie he directed?
I don't know. Didn't he have a cameo?
I'm sure he's making movies. Nothing I'm seeing. I don't know.
If anyone is a diehard Ron Howard fan and wants to tell us off, you can do so at thefilmwith3brains@gmail.com.
He's doing all production.
Or hit the socials.
All executive producer. Yeah. All stuff that we haven't watched. Including a movie about the New England Patriots.
I mean, he does know a lot about movie making. I don't think he's a great director either, but I don't think he's a bad one. I mean, he can be bad, but just because I don't know why we're relitigating this. I'm not defending him. I'm defending the movie and the fantastic tale that was Apollo 13. Because
I wish he'd have stuck to genre films. Like that's when he shines, I think. Or like more lighthearted fare in general. That's all. More Willow, that's fine. Willow's fun. That's great. Parenthood's pretty good. I like that one. Splash is great.
I forgot he did that one. Yep.
Good.
He's done some good movies.
Keep it lighthearted, Ron. Let's stop with the masturbate.
Beautiful Mind. You just watch Rush.
All right.
I've never seen Rush.
That's the last good thing he's done.
Oof. How long ago was that?
2013.
Oof. All right. I'll check it out someday.
And you guys check us out next time if you want. We appreciate you coming this time because we like listeners.
No, we don't.
It's FM with 3 brains.